Elon Musk doesn't ask, he declares. On November 6th, Tesla shareholders are being asked to approve a compensation plan that would give Musk something far more valuable than a paycheck, nearly 25% ownership of the company. And if they don't, well, he might just walk. That's not speculation. That's the unspoken threat behind a very public vote. A vote that's been framed not as a corporate decision, but as a loyalty test for the company, for the board, for the fans, for the market. Because this isn't just about money, although the number is staggering. If approved and all milestones are hit, the new compensation plan could eventually be worth over $1 trillion. It would make Musk the most highly compensated CEO in history. Again, and it would push his control of Tesla from roughly 13% to nearly 25%, cementing his influence in a way that no court ruling, no lawsuit, no dissenting vote could easily challenge. It's not the first time he's pulled this off, but it may be the last time anyone even tries to stop him. And that's the real story here. Not just the size of the payday, but what it represents. A shift in how power works in public companies. This isn't about performance metrics or shareholder value. It's about whether one man can leverage the myth of his own indispensability into absolute control over a trillion-dollar empire. Back in 2018, Tesla's board proposed a $56 billion pay package for Elon Musk. A plan so massive, so unprecedented, that it made headlines around the world. But it passed. And for years, it stood as a symbol of the company's confidence in his leadership, tying his compensation to performance milestones that few believed were achievable, until he hit nearly all of them. Then came January 2024. A Delaware judge, Chancellor Kathleen McCormick, ruled that the deal was invalid, not because Musk failed to deliver, but because the board that approved it was too close to him, too biased, too compromised in their ability to act independently. The compensation was voided. The title of largest CEO payout in history was stripped away, on paper at least. But Elon Musk doesn't just accept rulings, he reshapes the game. By June 2024, Tesla had put the same package, practically unchanged, back to a shareholder vote. And it passed again, with 72% approval. Not because the court changed its mind, it didn't. In fact, just months later, in December 2024, the same judge doubled down, ruling once more that the plan had no legal standing, that even a second shareholder vote couldn't override the original flaws in how it was negotiated. The approval, symbolic, the money, still legally blocked. For now, Tesla has appealed to the Delaware Supreme Court, and that battle continues. Which brings us to November 2025, where a new vote is about to take place. Not just to restore the old deal, but to authorize something far more ambitious, a compensation structure that could eventually be worth $1 trillion if Musk drives Tesla's market cap from its current $1.3 trillion all the way to $8.5 trillion. This new plan is divided into 12 tranches, each unlocking as Tesla hits specific market capitalization milestones starting at $2 trillion and culminating at $8.5 trillion. If he succeeds at every level, Musk would gain an additional 12% of Tesla's shares, bringing his total stake to approximately 25%, enough to assert decisive control without needing a majority. And once again, it's not the board leading this push in the shadows. It's Musk himself, through pressure, through platforms, through a carefully orchestrated campaign to frame this decision not as a matter of governance, but of survival. Because if he doesn't get what he wants this time, he may finally decide to stop asking. Elon Musk never said, "Give me the money," or "I'll leave." He didn't have to. Instead, in classic Musk fashion, he let others draw that conclusion for him by suggesting, by posting on X, by letting just enough silence linger between the lines of public statements to make the message unmistakable. Approve the package or risk losing me. Simple, elegant, denial-proof. It started when Tesla's board chair, Robin Denholm, sent a letter to shareholders just this week, on October the 27th, 2025, filled with lofty praise and subtle panic. She warned that Musk had earned the package, that the company's future, especially in AI and robotics, depended on his continued engagement, that he was not a typical executive and thus required not a typical compensation plan, but one aligned with his extraordinary vision, And then came the pressure point, the statement that mattered most. Without Elon, Tesla could lose significant value, as our company may no longer be valued for what we aim to become. Now legally, no one can tie that statement to an ultimatum. And yet, the implication couldn't be clearer. And if that wasn't enough, Musk began amplifying the tension himself during Tesla's Q3 2025 earnings call. He said he wasn't comfortable building an enormous robot army without enough voting control to protect himself from activist shareholders, or as he called proxy advisory firms, ISS and Glass Lewis, corporate terrorists. He made it explicit. I just don't feel comfortable building a robot army here and then being ousted because of some asinine recommendations from ISS and Glass Lewis. The message was unmistakable. He wants 25% voting control, not for greed, for protection, to prevent being removed by forces he believes don't understand Tesla's mission. And Denholm reinforced this in her interview with CNBC, saying it's less about compensation and more about the voting influence. That Musk needs this stake so that bad things can't happen with the AI. In essence, the subtext became the strategy. There were no ultimatums, no threats, just a choice, quietly delivered. Approve this plan or accept a version of Tesla without its most valuable asset. A version that, even if it continued to function, might no longer capture the markets, the media, or the mythos in the same way. And when you build a company on narrative gravity, that might be the most dangerous risk of all. For most companies, valuation comes down to performance, revenue, margins, growth. But Tesla has always played a different game, a game where confidence is currency, and Elon Musk is the central bank. When you look at the numbers, the proposed pay package isn't just about compensation, it's a market signal. A public declaration that Tesla believes its own myth enough to bet everything on the man who created it. The structure is ambitious. 12 tranches unlocking as Tesla hits market caps ranging from $2 trillion to $8.5 trillion. If Musk delivers every milestone, his stake could eventually be worth over $1 trillion, making this the largest compensation package in corporate history. But confidence is volatile, and investors, especially institutional ones, know this. That's why major advisory firms like ISS and Glass Lewis came out against the package, citing concerns about governance, dilution, and the dangerous precedent of rewarding a CEO with control that approaches unilateral power. They warned, this isn't about incentive, it's about power consolidation, and still the board pushed forward, arguing that Musk's alignment must be reinforced at all costs, that without his involvement, Tesla might fall behind in the AI race, that the future of self-driving cars, humanoid robots, and energy networks requires not just his name, but his full attention. Which raises the uncomfortable question, if your company is only stable when one man is fully engaged, is it even a company anymore? Or is it a personality cult with a balance sheet? Markets have started to ask that question. Tesla's stock has swung wildly as these debates unfold, rising on the hope that Musk stays, dipping on fears that he'll pull back. It's a financial seesaw driven not by quarterly reports, but by emotional leverage, by speculation, by drama. Interestingly, some major shareholders have sided with Musk. The State Board of Administration of Florida, SBA, filed with the SEC supporting the package, stating that the total return on Tesla's stock after enactment of its 2018 Performance Award leads us to strongly support the proposed 2025 CEO Performance Award. But many pension funds, including New Mexico's state treasurer and groups like the American Federation of Teachers, are urging a no vote, warning that approving this sets a dangerous precedent for executive compensation across all industries. And in that kind of environment, it's not really about whether he gets the money. It's about whether shareholders still believe the story that made it all worth it. The first-time Chancellor Kathleen McCormick struck down Elon Musk's $56 billion pay package. It sent shockwaves through the business world, not because a judge ruled against Musk, but because it revealed how fragile his empire could be when someone outside his ecosystem actually questioned it. The ruling in January 2024 wasn't just a technicality. McCormick accused Tesla's board of being too close to Musk, of rubber stamping a plan designed with minimal oversight and maximal upside for the CEO. She argued that shareholders had been misled, that the process was, in her words, deeply flawed. So Tesla did what any company would do. When $56 billion is at stake, it held another vote. In June 2024, shareholders approved the same package again in a symbolic attempt to override the judge's decision. But McCormick wasn't playing along. In December, she rejected it again, saying the new vote had no legal bearing on the original ruling. Her message was clear: you can't just vote your way around judicial accountability. And yet, Musk's team didn't back down. Instead, they filed an appeal to the Delaware Supreme Court, hoping to reverse both decisions. That appeal is still pending, and until it's resolved, the original 2018 package, and everything it represents, hangs in limbo. This judicial battle reveals something deeper than a pay dispute. It exposes a system struggling to define boundaries when corporate power is concentrated in a single individual. The board argues that Musk is indispensable. The court argues that no one should be above process. And the market just wants to know who's actually in charge. Because if Tesla can't enforce governance rules on its own CEO, what does that say about the governance of the future? Elon Musk doesn't need to storm out of Tesla boardrooms or slam doors to make a threat. All he has to do is mention xAI. It started as just another AI startup in a crowded field, until it didn't. By mid-2024, xAI wasn't just building large language models. It was embedding them in Tesla vehicles. It was powering features on X. It was even training Grok, Musk's personal answer to ChatGPT, using data from across his empire. And behind the scenes, xAI was growing fast, very fast, backed by Musk's fortune, and with new investment rounds reportedly valuing it in the tens of billions. xAI had become the perfect alternative, a company where Musk controls everything, without the regulatory headaches, without the shareholder votes, and without a board telling him no. Interestingly, one of the proposals on Tesla's November 6th ballot is a shareholder proposal requesting board authorization of an investment in xAI. The very fact that this is being debated shows how blurred the lines have become between Tesla and Musk's other ventures. So when the Tesla board delayed his compensation discussions, he didn't have to say much, just a few posts on X, a few hints during earnings calls that maybe Tesla doesn't need to be the center of innovation anymore. Maybe Grok doesn't need to live inside Tesla's software. Maybe the real future of AI lives somewhere else, somewhere Musk controls 100%. And suddenly, the conversation shifted. What started as a legal dispute over a pay package turned into something else entirely, a referendum on Musk's loyalty. Tesla's board, sensing the shift, leaned in. Chairwoman Robin Denholm released her public letter this week, warning that Musk's continued involvement wasn't guaranteed, and that shareholders needed to approve the new package if they wanted to keep him. It was a threat, disguised as transparency, because xAI had become more than a company. It was leverage. And for a man who thrives on leverage, it was the ultimate escape hatch. If Tesla's board pushes too hard, if the courts tie his hands, he walks. Not dramatically, not with a press conference, just quietly and completely. And in a world where attention is capital and AI is the battlefield, xAI is the quiet ultimatum no one knows how to answer. At first glance, the new compensation package sounds insane, potentially worth over $1 trillion if all milestones are hit, structured across 12 tranches as Tesla's market cap grows from $1.3 trillion today to $8.5 trillion. But that's the part everyone misunderstands. This isn't about the money, not really. Musk is already one of the richest people in history. He doesn't need more stock options to buy things. What he needs is control. That's the hidden architecture behind this entire negotiation, because even after building Tesla into a trillion-dollar empire, even after leading the electric vehicle revolution, Musk currently holds only about 13% of Tesla's voting power, a number far too low for someone used to having the last word. So the $1 trillion package, it's not a bonus, it's a restructuring, a way to secure an additional 12% of shares, pushing him to nearly 25% total ownership. Enough influence to prevent another Delaware court from clipping his wings or a future board from boxing him in. It's about future-proofing his authority, and here's where it gets even more strategic. According to Denholm's interview with CNBC, the plan is structured so that shareholders get their return much earlier than Elon would if he delivers against the plan. Voting rights unlock progressively, but the economic value doesn't fully vest until year 7.5, even if milestones are hit in the first 5 years. The performance metrics baked into this package don't demand specific product milestones. They rely on market cap growth, a target that, as we've already seen, Musk knows how to influence without building a single new factory. All he needs is the right narrative, the right moment, and the right amount of attention. If Tesla's value surges past key thresholds, Musk unlocks tens of billions. But more importantly, he consolidates power. And if it doesn't, well, there's always XAI. It's a power play with no clean exit, because voting no means risking a future without Musk at the helm. A future where Tesla might lose its symbolic, chaotic, highly effective figurehead. But voting yes means greenlighting one of the largest payouts in history to a man already under scrutiny for how he's used that power in the past. This isn't a vote on compensation. It's a vote on control, on whether Elon Musk remains Tesla's spiritual and strategic nucleus, or whether the company dares to imagine itself without him. And that, for many investors, is a question far more uncomfortable than any number on a spreadsheet. No matter how you vote, no matter how you feel about Elon Musk, this moment says something bigger than just one man and one company. Because this isn't just about Tesla, it's about the kind of system that makes a $1 trillion compensation package seem not only possible, but somehow necessary. We've built a market where vision is worth more than output, where the ability to tell a compelling story moves billions faster than any quarterly report, and where the boundary between leadership and celebrity is no longer a line, it's a business model. Think about it. Tesla isn't offering Musk this deal because they need to motivate him. They're doing it because the belief in him is so deeply embedded into the stock price, the brand, the future roadmaps, that separating the man from the mission feels impossible. This is the financialization of identity, the transformation of a CEO into an asset class. And it's not just Musk. We now reward people not for building quietly, but for dominating headlines, for living in the feed, for making markets react. Attention isn't just influence anymore, it's collateral. So when a $1 trillion company ties its fate to the charisma of a single individual, we should probably ask, are we investing in companies, or in personalities, in innovation, or in narrative control? And if Musk can gain or lose $100 billion depending on what he says, what he tweets, or who he aligns with politically, what does that say about the stability of the system that rewards him? Maybe the real story isn't that Musk is asking for too much. Maybe it's that we've built a system where asking for $1 trillion and getting it actually makes perfect sense. On November 6th, Tesla shareholders will cast their votes. Online votes must be submitted by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on November 5th. But it won't just be about compensation. It'll be about control, about narrative, about belief. Because Elon Musk isn't just asking for money, he's asking for ownership of the future he promises to build. Nearly 25% total stake in one of the world's most influential companies. Not because he needs it to survive, but because without it, he says, he might walk away. And here's the uncomfortable part. He might be right. If the vote fails, Tesla risks losing its most powerful asset. Not a product, not a patent, but a persona. And if it passes, we set a precedent that $1 trillion ask, backed by charisma and threat of departure, is not only valid, it's rewarded. The battle lines are drawn. Retail investors, who make up about 30% of Tesla's shareholder base, largely support Musk. Last year's vote on the 2018 package passed with 72%. Florida's State Board of Administration filed support. Tesla has built a slick campaign website, votetesla.com, posted relentlessly on X, and even used Optimus robots in promotional videos showing shareholders how to vote. On the other side, proxy advisory firms ISS and Glass Lewis recommend voting no. Pension funds from New Mexico, New York, and others are coordinating opposition. Groups like Take Back Tesla, led by unions representing 2.5 million workers, are urging institutional investors to reject what they call an inequitable, precedent-setting disaster. Independent analyst Michael Levin told Fortune that, given how Tesla mobilized retail investors last year, the result of 2024 gives a very strong clue about how 2025 will work out. And that passed with 72% of voters supporting it, and that's pretty comfortable. So maybe the real question isn't whether Musk deserves it. Maybe it's whether the system we've created can afford to say no, even when it wants to. Because if power can now be negotiated like this, if wealth is this fluid, if identity is this embedded in market value, then what happens when the next visionary demands the same, or when the system finds someone even better at the game? We've blurred the lines between leadership and leverage. And with $1 trillion on the line, we're all about to find out where that line finally breaks. This story isn't over yet. Subscribe so you don't miss how it ends. And leave a like if this helped you see things differently. It really helps me keep going.